Hi everyone, how are you doing today? It's me again, it's me, your girl, Dr. Amaka, Dr. Francisca. What's my video all about? It's going to be a very brief, quick one. I just want to talk about these fostering kids. I've read a lot, I was going through some Facebook thing and I saw some write-up about social workers, social services in the United Kingdom. A lot of parents are complaining about the social services taking their kids, forcing their kids into care, alienation, and I'm kind of wondering. Maybe I've not had those kind of experiences, but I'm like, what is it? What actually is parental rights? What is parental rights? What right does a parent have over the kids? What's the reason for social services taking kids? I know clearly because I'm a doctor, like from the healthcare sector, that there are some grounds for actually taking kids. And for example, from my personal experience with my own daughters, like there was a time my second daughter had a crash. She fell from the this first story building to a ground floor, and I took her to the hospital. I took her to the emergency department, and when I took her to the emergency department, I know after the doctor has assessed her because it was injury. She said it is normal to call in the social services. What I know what the reason this case is going to be referred to social services is that it's injuries, like it's a risk, just so they scout and be sure that there is no risk of harm to the child and to the child regarding child abuse and all that. But coming to think of it in depth, if I had intention of harming her and made her fall from that one story building, would I actually bring her to the hospital? But what will make social service take a child from a parent? And then one thing what I emphasize often about this fostering kids or taking kids into care is it actually to the child's best interest to take the child into care? That's the huge question I often ask, even the so called social services or social care workers or something. I know a story of one of my hairdressers then in London who told me her own story that her kids were taken into care because she was imprisoned because she was illegal in the country for some time. Her papers expired and she couldn't renew. But she had her children in this country, so she had a lawyer. She got a lawyer to follow up the case because of her children. She'll be given permission to stay in the country. So her kids, for the interim, for the time when her case was tried and all that, when she was put in the prison, her kids were fostered within that space period. That's taken into care. And the kids had not stopped telling her their experiences in foster care. Anytime things around children are discussed, even the reason why social services exist at all is for the child's best interest. And then, if you're taking this child and fostering this child abnormally, and parents are complaining that my child was taken off me, and I'm like, what will make you take a child off the parents? It has to be something very tangible. And in my own opinion, I often say it should always be the last resort. Don't foster kids. It has impact on them. That's my stand. If we're talking about child's best interest, just like I kick against sometimes these legal decisions over children as well. You go to court and they give custody. The judge sits on his seat and gives custody abnormally. You understand? Harming the child in the long run. If all these things, if we think of child's best interest, the reason social services are in place at all is thinking of the child's best interest in cases of abuse. So when that social services is abused, the system uses the social services sometimes because they want to get on the parents. What is that? I thought we were discussing child's best interest all the time. The psychological impact of fostering children. Foster children most times come down with psychiatric illnesses in the long term. Parental separation affects children just like it affects the parents as well. So it's not just the parents that are suffering. Those kids that you are thinking it is to their best interest are actually suffering it. I don't know how this craze of social services arose and they're taking actions, taking kids away from their parents and all that. Kids, except for reasons that can be held onto. I speak from a professional point of view. I know when that attempt was made in this country to take my daughters, I refused, and I was very firm. Even though I had friction over it, you understand. When there is a bond that exists between, let's say, a mom and a child, it affects even psychologically the child and the mom. So I don't think this craze of fostering, this madness, I call it madness, of social services taking kids away from, I think it should be looked into. The government as well should not actually support this kind of things, because in the long run, it is not to the child's best interest. So this is just my message today. I'm not in support of fostering. I think it should be a last resort all the time when every other options have been explored. If possible, if it is something that you can discuss with the parents and reach an agreement, and then maybe working with the parents, the social services, monitor the agreements reached, that option should hold instead of fostering those children. If you're watching my channel for the first time, thank you very much for tuning in and watching. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you also so much for watching. So I appreciate. Thank you so much for watching. Until my next video, it's still me. Bye.